In today's episode, we have a very special guest, Courtney Lee. She is an amazing female entrepreneur. She owns Primal Coffee Creamer, an amazing company that she created herself. And what's really special about this episode, honestly, I think it's one of the most impactful episodes that we've ever done. Like, you guys will learn so much from this because we actually did a live coaching call because she's a TurnKey Inner Circle coaching customer of ours. And she actually asked us if we could record, and publish it because she likes sharing this stuff and documenting her story. So we actually do a live teardown of her Amazon listings, and we literally share our screen to go through every single aspect of her product listing. You can be thinking through your listing, comparing it to hers, and doing it side by side and really making changes from this coaching call. So we just had a lot of really great, I think, breakthroughs that she didn't realize she was missing on her listing that are just going to take her conversions to the next level. And big shout out to Jenna Lieber for being on it with me as well. All right, so we have Courtney and Jenna here. So hey, Courtney, welcome to your TurnKey Inner Circle coaching call. Thank you so much. It's been a couple months. Just a little background. So we met at Ryan Moran's backroom event a couple months ago at his house. Talked a lot about your business, and it's good to see you again. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
I know you got a lot going on right now with Amazon, so we'll try to help you as much as we can. So how these coaching calls normally work is we just have one of our coaches on the call that I've personally hired and trained. So that's why we have Jenna here today. She does both full service and coaching clients, or actually all of them do. But since you and I talked at length at Ryan's house, and I've already kind of got a deep background of your business, I thought it'd just be helpful if I came on to try to add some value as well. And also just wanted to say thank you for offering to let us share this on podcasts and YouTube and all that good stuff. We really appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. I'm excited to help, and I mean, if it helps you, it helps me.
So why don't you just give a little bit of background to Jenna and I. I mean, we know we've already researched quite a bit, but it would just help to know, like, basically you just launched on Amazon, but you've built a whole business over the last few years without Amazon. So it's sort of a unique situation. So just kind of catch us up on where you're at.
So I did build the whole business off of Shopify. I began first Instagram, was doing everything via Instagram and taking Venmo payments and PayPal. And then spun up a Squarespace because that was the easiest one, and then migrated to Shopify. And I've been on Shopify the past year and a half now. And I didn't know about this before, but I'm really glad that was the case, that I focused so much on my community online, in-house, because now that I did my Amazon launch, it was really easy for me to just kind of activate my existing customers and fan base, and really just ask them to kind of join me in the next chapter and evolution of the brand, rather than trying to figure out some way to reverse engineer that. So that's kind of been the transition, or step-by-step, of how I've eventually come to Amazon. But that being said, I have no idea about anything with Amazon, so that's why I'm really excited to learn, because just so much of it I hear, it's a lot of horror stories and success stories, but then the horror story stuff kind of makes me feel almost intimidated. And I have a great guy who's come on to help me do Amazon, but I, for myself, just always like to know a little bit more about the platform and every aspect of the business, just that if something happened, I could step in and feel really confident. And right now I just don't really have that confidence. So I really hope to get a little bit more of that by the end.
That sounds good. Maybe on the next call, you can have your Amazon team members as well. They're helping. Like, we can have group calls with all of them and train the applicable team members on whatever they need to be trained on. So that's totally cool. So basically your Primal coffee creamers. So what is your, I guess real quick, your whole story. And I think what's so unique is how you stumbled into this as a business, and how you created it, and how healthy it is, right? That's what makes it different. So because we want to make sure we can highlight that on your Amazon page. So give us a little bit deeper background into how you did that.
Right. So a few years ago, my dad was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and our family, we're such a big coffee drinking family. We grew up with every morning at the kitchen table, we'd get the newspaper, my parents would make their cup of coffee, but it was always Coffee Mate, and it tastes amazing, but unfortunately it's just not the healthiest ingredients. And so when my dad got the diagnosis, that was the one thing that I just remember watching them every morning, watching the pouring. And I asked them if they would stop using it. And he said, I would switch, but it needs to taste just like this. And so I went through so many different of the natural or healthier alternatives at the grocery store, the almond, soy, coconut, and all of them just taste kind of like water. And my dad would dump out the coffee and be like, if this is what my life is going to be like, I'm going to stick to Coffee Mate. And so I decided that if no one had created a healthy alternative that could actually taste really good and good enough where he would see it as a comparable swap, then I would create it. So it took me like 2 years to formulate it. The whole first year was working with these food scientists, and I was so removed from that process that by the end of that, sorry, I've just really quick, because this is really kind of the big story of how I think I grew up as an entrepreneur is my parents, by the end of that first year working with these food scientists and the formula wasn't good, my parents were like, baby, why don't you, maybe you should quit. Maybe it's not possible, and you've given your all. And I said, give me 6 months. If I can figure it out, then amazing, or I'll go get a job. And I just signed up for every food science trade show and food technology trade show I could find. I walked the floor and I literally piece by piece built my supply chain, because I asked, how do I create that mouthfeel texture? What's the best flavor company? And that's why earlier when I said I like to have a knowledge of whatever I go into, because that's what my experience in the past taught me is if I apply myself and put myself into it, at least I know that like whoever I hire on to bring it on is capable. So with formulating it and everything, that just took me to that point. I had an MVP. I was scrolling through Instagram, and I remember the day too when my dad tried the first cup of coffee of that formula, and he was just like, "Baby, like you did it. This is it." And I was so excited, except no one but my parents and I had ever tasted it. And on Instagram, I was scrolling and I saw this woman, her post, it was one of the So Delicious coconut milk creamers. And she wrote, trying to cut back on the hazelnut international delight. This tasted like water. Like I need suggestions. And it was just a divine sign of like the universe saying, here's your first potential customer. I asked her, I DM'd her, I was like, hi, my name's Courtney. I'm a young food entrepreneur and I just created something that might be a solution. Can I send you a sample? And that day I went to my computer printer, printed out some marketing materials like on Microsoft Word. I drew something up and I packed a sandwich, a Ziploc baggie of powder, and I mailed it off to her and wrote her a note. And I woke up a few days later, she had posted about me on Instagram. And it was a rave review saying how this is a game changer and how she's so excited that she found it. And if anyone's interested in also finding a healthy creamer, to message me. So like 5 of her friends saw it, which turned into 5 of each of their friends seeing it, and literally to the point where I was like, I should start charging something. So I asked for $1.99. That was on Venmo. I was like, here's my Venmo, here's my PayPal, $1.99, and then $3.99. And then I was like, okay, I've got something. Let me build up a Squarespace website. And I haven't looked back since, and it's been amazing. So that's kind of really how the core started, from that one Instagram post. And that's why this has been built so heavily on word of mouth and me like having my direct line to people through my Instagram page. With Amazon, I don't know what benchmark stuff looks like. So it's really hard for me. I kind of get in my own head of like, am I doing this right? Does this happen to other people? Or like, you know what I mean? So yeah, right now, as of the last time I checked early this morning, I had like 415 or 400 something, over 415 orders on Amazon. But there's only like the reviews. So I'm just thinking, okay, like maybe it's a cadence of like when I know like I guess my Amazon guy set up it through Zon pages, I think.
For
like
follow-up
email. Yeah, the follow-up thing. So like I know the cadence are like a few days since, but I still just wasn't sure if Amazon was holding back stuff from people. So yeah, I mean, good to know that at least at 25 in a few days is still like fine. Like it's still
yeah,
good.
I mean, that review rate is huge. I mean, Jeff, we talk about it all the time. I mean, we usually review rate percentages are around 10% or maybe even like a little less than that. So, I mean, I think that's really huge. And as far as your autoresponders goes, and we'll talk about that probably also a little bit, it is good to kind of section that off. So like, for example, like your creamer and stuff, like people most likely like, I don't know about you guys, but Amazon drops my packages off about 9 o'clock at night. I'm always the last one. So, people aren't automatically going to review as soon as you get it. So it is important with autoresponders to kind of section them off, give them time to make their coffee and make sure they make it right and everything like that. Yeah. So, But yeah, so I think it is good to also section off with the autoresponders. So good.
Yeah. And what we're seeing now, especially in the last few months, is that Amazon is starting to crack down on just what they deem like suspicious looking review activity, whether it's suspicious or
Right.
not. And so it's actually like, don't worry or stress about trying to get, to 100 reviews in the first day. Like, you actually don't want to do that, because it's, Amazon actually might flag that as, they might put a temporary review ban because it just looks fake, right? Because most people that start
That's what
selling on
happened to me in
Amazon
the beginning.
most people don't have 20,000 raving fan Instagram followers like you do, that you shouted out to them asking them to go buy, and then they just left you reviews. And so for you, I would say actually it's sort of, try to go a little bit slower, because you don't want to have an abnormal. So if you say had 400 orders, you don't want 300 reviews, right? Amazon will for sure maybe even like temporarily suspend your listing, because it just looks fake. No one else gets that. No one else does that on Amazon, right? So they want it to look more normal, and that's okay. So just play the long game in Amazon and play within their rules, which you are, but just don't stress too much on trying to get everything to this giant level too fast, because with your external audience, powers that you have, like it may actually be too fast for Amazon. So it's okay
I
to go a
did
little
send
slower.
an I did send an email that we got a hold of an Amazon rep when we got the flag, whatever, and he gave me an email template to send to Amazon saying like, notate high volume, or that I already have sales on an existing website, and that did just get approved, or like they acknowledged that my email was sent and received like on Monday or Sunday, like Sunday late afternoon. So hopefully that helps too, with just like Amazon flagging and saying that if there is velocity, this is the reason why. Right. But I should also make sure it's like spaced out and slowed down too.
Yeah, that's another big thing, especially for anyone out there that's listening. But if you have a big audience, do not blast the whole audience all at once. Some people come to us, they have a 250,000 person email list. That's awesome, but we don't want to email 250,000 people asking for a review or asking for a purchase all in the same day. That's going to look fake and suspicious to Amazon, and so it's better to batch them out and maybe only email a smaller percent of your audience, on Monday, and then maybe the following Monday do another batch. And so for you, I would keep that in mind as well. Just sort of, doing occasional periodic requests of your audience, but not like huge things where you're going to get a huge spike that might get you flagged for being too fast. Because right now you're off to a great start. So we'll talk about some ways to do that. So maybe it would be helpful to look at your listing, and Jenna, if you have her listing pulled up. I know we had found a few things. We always like to look at that first as one of kind of the foundational pieces. Make sure you have that in place, because if you don't have that dialed in, it will kind of limit your level of success you can achieve, how quickly. So yeah, let's jump over there.
Basically, how we like to start with our listing, like when we're going through one, is we like to kind of start at the top and kind of work our way down. So as far as the listing, a lot of it stems from keyword research. How did you guys conduct keyword research when putting together this listing? What were the steps? How much keyword research do you have? Yeah, let's start there.
Yeah, no, for sure. So my guy Phil, so he's my employee, my teammate. So he's also his expertise is actually in Google and SEO, and so he's been doing Google SEO because we knew we were going to be launching Amazon. So we spent the last, I think, 2 months really just testing out keywords on Google, and also I think probably just typing in stuff on Amazon. Like seeing what things pop up and kind of making correlations between listings as to what they were saying. So
yeah,
I'm sure his process is way more scientific. But I would imagine just from our conversations, that's kind of how we progressed, and we just strategized about it.
Totally. That's great. Yeah. So as far as like keyword research goes, as you guys grow, because I know you're talking about adding flavors, things like that, I would recommend investing in a software like Helium 10, which is Amazon specific. So the only reason I bring that up, because obviously Google is huge, right? Like it's the best search engine out there. No questions asked. It has the most information, but always keep in mind that Google has a much different intent than Amazon searches,
Mm-hmm.
right? So Google, a lot of the times, they're searching to get information about a product. So for example, with your product, you know, a lot of it is centered around sugar-free, diabetic needs, things like that. Coffee creamer for diabetics or coffee solution for diabetics, things like that might come up, but not necessarily be something that's commonly searched on Amazon, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's a great place to start, no question about that. But as you guys expand, obviously you can learn actually a ton from your PPC ads, which I saw that you guys have running, which is great. So you can learn a lot from your PPC ads as well. There's search terms reports, which we can send you some information on how to do that. But basically there's search terms reports, which will be generated based off of broad phrasing or broad keywords that you have, and automatic campaigns if you have those set up. Where basically Amazon will tell you the keywords that are firing for your product, what's making the ads go up. But yeah, so I think investing in something like Helium 10 would be a really great idea. And then I love that you talked about the Amazon, the search engine. I think that's great to learn from that as well. Another thing I would recommend is looking at your competitors, checking out their listings, seeing what phrasing are they using, what keywords are they going after. That can be really helpful as well. But I mean, quite honestly, from what I'm seeing right here, like you have those bases covered. It's just going to be expanding from here. You know, one thing I'm sure you and Jeff have talked about is a listing's never on autopilot. You know, you should always be testing. You should always be trying out new things. And keyword research is one of those things. So yeah, you guys are launched, but definitely want to revisit keyword research at least every quarter to expand. So I think you guys have good foundation right now, but expand down the line for sure. So the most important place for keywords actually is your title. This is the absolute most important place. Like this is where it'll help with indexing and ranking the most. So your most important keywords, and what we mean by most important is the keywords that have the highest search volume on Amazon. Those are the ones you should be going after within your title. And how you get that information is using tools like Helium 10, who will tell you search frequency.
Got it.
So essentially, you know, what you want to do with this title, you obviously want to make sure you have keywords in here, but you want to make sure it is readable. And what we mean by that is we work with a lot of people that, you know, it's like they just threw a bunch of keywords in there and it kind of just doesn't make sense. And you don't want that, because at the end of the day, this is what people are reading first, right? When you're in the search results, like they're reading the title first.
Right.
So it is important that it makes sense and it doesn't sound, you know, because at the end of the day, like, obviously keyword ranking, things like that is generated by a computer, but a computer isn't buying the product. People are buying the product. And if it sounds like it's written for a computer, that's not going to resonate really well. Right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so I mean, just looking at that search frequency wise, you want to move certain keywords towards the front. So order actually does matter. So the keywords that have the higher search volume, you want those to go towards the front of the title. Just to help you with indexing and ranking down the line. So as far as like any adjustments to make, I would actually take out these dashes. The only reason I suggest this, and so Amazon had an update about, I think it was like in July maybe, they said that they'll suppress listings that have symbols. And this could potentially be considered a symbol. And it's actually always been against Amazon's terms of service. And it was funny, they announced this when I was at an Amazon conference and people were going crazy. They're like, oh my gosh, the world's ending. I'm like, it's really not. Amazon's just going to start enforcing their rules.
Right. Okay.
Do you have any like other questions about your title? You know?
Yeah, I mean, so I guess you were saying the order matters. And so I don't know, maybe I guess I won't really know the keywords that are fine for me until I have more. Is it like just more time on the platform? Over time it'll aggregate and collect information, and that's how I'll know? Because right now I don't know which one should be first, right? Sugar-free or keto or non-dairy. I'd imagine a sugar-free or keto would probably come before non-dairy. Okay.
So what you would do is you would just download one of those softwares like Helium 10, and they actually already have that information. So what you could basically do is put in like non-dairy, and I wouldn't even say non-dairy, I would say non-dairy creamer. Okay. So that's actually one other thing. So order matters in the sense of like where it's placed in the title, but like right now you are in place to index for non-dairy creamer, even though they're not in order of that right now. So all you need are the pieces, right? So you don't want to repeat words. So like, for example, you wouldn't want to say keto friendly and then like sugar-free friendly, right? I know
Yeah.
sugar friendly makes no sense, but you don't need to repeat words.
Right.
So, but yeah, so don't repeat words, things like that, but you can essentially look it up through Helium 10 and see, okay, does non-dairy creamer rank higher than keto creamer or sugar-free creamer? And you can play around with the placement of this.
Got it.
I would also I think when you take out the dashes actually and the spaces, you might have room. Is it MCT oil or is it just MCT?
Well, it's MCT oil.
Okay. Yeah, I wonder if you can put the oil in there just so it MCT oils in there instead of just MCT.
Yeah.
I mean, MCT probably is ranking really well, but I would assume MCT oil is probably
yeah. Because companies can have, there's a lot of companies that are only using like coconut milk powder, but they're putting like MCT. Yeah, they're putting like all MCT stuff, but it's not true. It's not MCT oil, like concentrated.
Gotcha.
And lots of people search for MCT oil or coffees or products with MCT oil. So that will be a search term people search for sure, because they don't want the powder. And so that will actually like help you stand out and get better rankings when people are searching for creamer with MCT oil. We want you to show up for that.
Right. Okay.
Yep. And then, I would keep your name right here. So that's quite the debate a lot of the times. And I just think right now, especially, people are responding to your brand. So to me, it makes sense to leave this here.
Right.
And then another thing just to pay attention with your title is looking at it on mobile. So on mobile, your title will get cut. Every single person's title is going to get cut. You want it to make sense before the ... that will show up.
Yeah.
So, and you should check your listing on mobile for everything, obviously, like images, all that stuff. I'm sure you're well aware of that. So, but yeah, just playing around with the title, making sure it makes sense before the ... because majority of people are happy on mobile.
Yeah.
And then just like one last quick thing and would be I think you're using all of your characters, but if you're not, just make sure you are.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, awesome. I mean, honestly, it's a great start. It looks awesome. It's just, you might play around with it and find different keywords are more important than others. So, awesome. So let's go and move to the bullet points. So honestly, your bullet points are very strong, I would say. I mean, especially because I know, you're saying you're new to Amazon, so I thought they were really strong. And then, they're very, I like to say fact heavy, where you're pointing out the features of the product, why, or more like the facts of the product. But, one thing, Jeff kind of mentioned with you, people are going to bet on you and like, you're so genuine, and we want that to be in your bullet points. So the story about why you started your product, right? Like, I want you to think about that when you're with your bullet points, talking to them, making sure they understand, because at the end of the day, you have a successful Shopify site. You understand that you're able to speak to them however you want there because it's your site, but you're on Amazon territory now, right? So with Amazon, you don't have as many opportunities to talk to your customers. So you want to take advantage of it every second, especially because, I mean, what makes this product awesome is just your relationship with your community. So we want to try to build that through Amazon as well and reach more people, right?
So I just wanted to take a quick break from the episode and say that if you're enjoying how this coaching call is going with Courtney and you're seeing how much impact it can make, this is exactly how most of our Turnkey Inner Circle coaching calls go. And she's been nice enough to let us share that with you guys and publicize it. But, most of our clients, prefer to keep it private, and that's what we do. And so if you want to be a Turnkey Inner Circle coaching client where, even just for a call or two, I mean, we can really do a deep dive into your auditing your listing and going through what strategies are you doing for reviews, for growth strategies. And we're going to help identify at least one, but usually multiple areas in your business where you can make small tweaks and sometimes larger tweaks or strategies that can make a huge impact in your business. And so having that expert set of eyes come in from the outside and help you identify those things to help take your business to the next level typically pays for itself very, very quickly. It's just, I view it as an investment in your business, an investment in your growth. And we're very, very good at it. And we enjoy helping amazing companies get to the next level. So if you are interested in that, head over to turnkeyproductmanagement.com and click on the apply button. That's where you'll just fill out a little bit of info and then let us know that you're interested in coaching. And then we will get back to you and let you know if you're a good fit and how we can best help. So again, head over to turnkeyproductmanagement.com and we look forward to hopefully coaching you or take your business to the next level.
So we would want to basically start and again, like the facts here are good. We want these facts in here because it is important that they understand the MCT oil, the coconut oils, the fact that, you know, it's dairy free, everything like, and sugar free, everything like that. That is obviously incredibly important. So what we would basically want to do is revisit these bullet points and think, I want to talk to my community through these bullet points. So I want to give them all this information, but I need to sell the emotion behind it, right? We call it emotional selling. Where basically you're basically pretending like you're talking to your customers through your bullet points.
Yeah.
But obviously keyword research is still incredibly important here, right? Because this is the second most important place for that on a listing. So it would be important to still have all this information because it's all really important. Like I read through it, I'm like, yeah, you need to know that when you're buying this product. But to me, you have such a strong brand story and you have such a strong just sense of community around your product. We want to put that in your bullet points and really try to express it.
I have a quick question. What is the first bullet? What is Ultimate Home PSL? What is PSL?
Oh, goodness.
I'm sure if you asked your wife, she would probably be able to tell you too.
Melanie would know, Jeff.
Sorry, I don't know what it is.
It's a pumpkin spice latte.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
That's like the whole craze. So Starbucks terms it like, or like, I don't know, the whole, you know, basic B and like PSL. It's just the term for pumpkin spice latte, like the short way. But like if you search the hashtag PSL, like you'll get a feel for all the pictures that everyone puts in their PSLs and everything.
Okay, so that's so most people know what that is. Okay.
Yeah, but you know that might be a good point, right? I don't know, Jenna. Do you feel like that's something that a lot of people may not know, and that's important to like spell out pumpkin spice latte?
I like it for the tagline, but maybe we could put in there pumpkin spice latte, like in brackets or something, or spell it. Cause I mean, it would be a good keyword to go after is latte as well. I'm not sure if latte's in here, but yeah, that is definitely a solid point because at the end of the day, you know, it is important to always be resonating with everybody. Right. So, nice job, Jeff. That was great.
Yeah.
So you can.
He's like, forgive my ignorance, but
what's PSL?
I had a feeling that was gonna be a stupid question, but with the PSL, so I think that you've made a good point. So people do search for that if it's a hashtag. I'm sure people will search it on Amazon. So you actually want it in there. So it's genius to put it in there, but you're missing the word latte. So maybe after that, put our Primal, creamer turns your drink into a pumpkin spice latte. So you've got all those keywords in there, but that way for the common person like me, probably more males maybe don't know.
Yeah, probably the most just men.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's so funny. But yeah, so that would be helpful to just spell that out. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like right behind it, but just making sure it's clear what we meant by PSL.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, these bullet points are really awesome. I think it's really just expanding a little bit more, selling that emotional reasoning behind it. I think, quite honestly, I love your taglines. I wouldn't adjust them, to be perfectly honest. I think they're really standing out. Let's see here. I'm going to talk about the instructions behind it more when we talk about images. So I think we're good there. The only other thing I would ask, have you considered like a guarantee or anything like that when it comes to your product?
Can you explain what you mean by guarantee?
So like, let's say someone doesn't like the product. Do you have something in place to help people that maybe the product just didn't work for them, whether it was taste or, anything like that?
I mean, I don't know. I didn't think about it for Amazon. On my own normal website, yes, I do.
Okay.
But yeah, Amazon, I didn't think of any kind of guarantee policy. So I'm open to creating one if it's necessary.
Yeah.
What do you do on your website?
Yeah. What do you do on your website?
So on the website, it's 30 days. And if you don't like the product, obviously just like write to us and we'll try and help you either troubleshoot, because sometimes it's just a matter of the method and how to prepare it, because this product is different. And I think that was one of the things that I struggled with in writing my listing, is making sure that I communicate to people like, this is such a natural product that it doesn't have the same kind of binders and concentrated chemicals and like liquefied sugar that would cause the same, it's not a 1-to-1, like apples to apples. So just retraining people on how to use the product. And I think obviously first stage in my policy is let's just work together and let me figure out how I can help. If you can't, then I do refund them after they ship the product back. So
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, and so, and especially on Amazon, because on your social media you've built so much trust with them, and you can tell your whole
right.
story about the products, and they're going to be in love with you and the product. But you think
Mhm.
about Amazon being like, because Amazon is a whole different pool of traffic for the most part, where they're
Right.
just searching for, maybe they're searching for keto coffee creamer or
Right.
healthy coffee creamer, and they're going to
Right.
stumble upon you. And only 20,000, I mean, 20,000 people follow you on Instagram. That's huge, but there's, millions of people searching for coffee creamer on Amazon that haven't heard of
Right.
you. And
Mhm.
so that's why, like, I think having that, adding that guarantee or satisfaction policy to, and especially moving it to be one of the number one or number two bullet points, like at the top, so that they see
Yeah.
that right away, and they'll be like, wow, if I don't, because if I was buying this and I didn't know you, I would be like, well, it's kind of expensive for a creamer, and what if I
Right.
don't like it, right? So
Right.
so if you had a nice bullet that said, we're so confident that you'll love it, that if you don't like it, you can email us and you can either try a different flavor. If you didn't like that flavor, we'll hook you up with another flavor to try, or we can just
Okay.
give you a refund if you really don't like it.
Sure.
That's how
And
confident we are. Something like that.
are those refunds and like returns and all that kind of stuff? Like I guess for me, I'm just unfamiliar with, does that happen on the Amazon platform? Do I take that offline and handle it on the back end? Or like, how does that kind of guarantee policy get set up with Amazon?
You want to take that, Jenna?
Yeah. So I honestly, for you, I would recommend the 30-day guarantee. And that's actually Amazon's guarantee. They do 30 days. So Amazon will take care of the returns for you. No questions asked. So this is actually something that's already built into Amazon. But I mean, no, a lot of people don't mention it, right? And just like Jeff said, they're, especially with taste, and I'm sure you've heard that we've worked with coffee companies in the past. When it comes to taste, a lot of people are always nervous when investing
Mm-hmm.
into a new product.
Right.
So it kind of takes that risk factor away, right? So
Yeah.
this is something that's already built into Amazon. Amazon would take care of these returns for you. You don't have to worry about it.
Okay. And then where does the Amazon, so if someone returns it, where does that return product go to?
So it would be sent back to the warehouse, the Amazon warehouse. And for your situation, Amazon would then make it unfulfillable.
Right,
There are
'cause it's open
times
back,
when
yeah.
like Amazon does this like judgment call where they're like, actually, no, we can resell it. And it's just like, no, you can't. For yours, I just can't see how they would ever put this back into inventory. So
Right.
then they'll put that to unfulfillable, and you would decide if you would want them to send it back to your warehouse, or if you would like for them to dispose of it.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. And I would say as well, like if a customer, say, reaches out and sends you a message on Amazon, you'll get it in your Amazon buyer messages, which you need to make sure someone is responding to every single day, 7 days a week, because that's one of the
Mm-hmm.
metrics that Amazon tracks for. So make sure you have
Mm-hmm.
someone doing that.
Okay.
But if someone reaches out and they're just super upset and they're like, this is disgusting, like not what I expected, whatever, they're a huge liability, because they might leave you a bad review, especially if they're
Right.
being rude to you and that. So we recommend to all of our clients to really go over the top and deliver great customer service to them, and offer
Right.
to send them a free product, offer to give them a refund. You can even initiate a refund yourself as well, like if it's a
Okay.
really upset customer. Like there's a thing in Amazon, pull up the order ID, and then you can just refund them right then and there. And you
Sure.
can still even ship them another product yourself, just as a thank you for working with us,
Right.
just to avoid that hopefully negative review. And that you might turn
Mm-hmm.
them into a raving 5-star review, or have them follow you on social media after
Yeah.
that, because they're wowed by you and
Mm-hmm.
their experience. So that's just
Mm-hmm.
something to try to build into your business as well.
Okay. So yeah, I'll definitely add the 30-day guarantee and just kind of explain that policy. Would let if you're not happy, please reach out. We're happy to help troubleshoot and see if you need a refund or a different flavor. And then add the pumpkin spice latte, or at least find a way to put the word latte in that other tagline.
Yeah. Yeah. So then let's move on to the images. And then I actually want to start with, you were saying, I struggled explaining it, right? And I can understand that, because I've watched your Instagram stories where you do explain how to make it. And it is different than what people are currently doing with their
Right.
other creamers, right?
Yeah.
The one really great way you could do that is actually make an infographic explaining step by step how to do it. So whether that's actually like images of you doing the process, Or if it's like, you can even just make it graphics where it's like step by step. So step 1 on how to mix it. If that's a common thing, and that's what we tell everyone, like if you have common pieces of feedback where it's just user error, try to address it in infographics.
Okay.
Approach. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the infographic have it in the images?
Yeah, exactly. So you'd want to have it in the images. And then you would also want to add it to your A+ content once you have that available to you.
Yeah. We have it open, but literally because this happened on like faster than we realized, we didn't have time to get the A+ up. So I'm working on the A+ now. So it'll be good to help like talk through the A+ later on as we go down, like what should go into it.
Definitely. Yep. Mm-hmm, for sure. Yeah. So I think that's good. So definitely want to do that for the main images. Then you also want to have something like that in the A+ content as well, just to explain a little further. So another thing with images, what we like to do is we like to have a mix of product images, which is what you have here as your main image. That has to be your main image, white background, all that good stuff. And then we also like to have lifestyle images, which is the product in action, which, is what this is right here. And then infographics where we're just explaining the product a little bit further. So another infographic you could potentially make is just a breakdown of what is in the product, right? Explaining why this is keto friendly, why this is diabetic friendly, all of that stuff, really explaining why this is different and it sets you apart from your competitors. I think that would be great. So as far as like your main image, I think your main image is nice and clean. The one way you could potentially take it next level, and this isn't something you have to do right this minute, but maybe down the line, would be maybe a scoop of what it looks like and maybe put the scoop like right in front of the product.
Got it. Okay.
Just so they know what's showing up.
Right. Yeah.
And then, Jeff, what do you think this is good, or should we have it more zoomed in? What are your thoughts?
I would say like that nutrition label, because this is the healthiest creamer on the market, right? And so people buying this will be willing to pay extra, but they're going to want to know the nutrition facts. And so right now they really have to zoom in to even see it. So I would probably recommend making a standalone image of only the nutrition facts, that maybe even reformat it so it's a nice infographic of the nutrition facts so that people can see how healthy it is as a standalone image, because it's so important. Like, what are the ingredients? How healthy is it? And how all the calories and all that good stuff. Because right now you really
maybe that can be, like Jen, like what you're saying of like kind of dissecting what's in it. So like the components of what's in it, and then I can have that's on like one side, and the other side can be a more just nutrition facts panel.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, I think that would be a good mix. And then,
one last thing on those main images there is, you see, Jenna, how there's a lot of white space. There's a lot of white space borders around them. If you just look at the tiles in the upper left, so that means that it's not super zoomed in on the product. So technically all you have to do is crop more tightly around the packaging, and then the product will all of a sudden expand to fill the space. And that's really, really important, because when people are searching on Amazon for healthy coffee creamer, and they're going to see 20 or more different coffee creamers that are your competitors, and you're just going to be one small little tile. And if you're only using half of that small tile space, they won't even be able to see it hardly, when other competitors are this big and they're brighter, because you've got white packaging on a white background. So it's a little bit tough, which is another reason. Tough, which is another reason why Jenna had such a great idea to put the, because I've seen the powder, I've tasted it, it's delicious, but that powder is really colorful, right? And so having that will also make you pop on the page. So those are two things that will make your main image is so important, because that's what's going to help get clicks, whether it's on ads or in the organic rankings. So just a couple of tips there.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, as far as all that goes, did you have any questions just regarding the images aside from what Jeff and I just covered?
In terms of, so how are, of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, of these 5 lifestyle / product shots, which one do you think is the one that I should swap out for that infographic kind of a thing, the nutrition facts and the ingredient dissection?
Yeah, I almost lean towards this one.
Okay.
Even though it's so cute. But again, you're going to have space for that to go in the A+ content. So it's not like it's gone from the listing. It's just maybe move it down. So I was thinking maybe this one.
Okay.
And then I like these two because it, to me, explains the process.
That's what I would kind of put them at there, just so people see. And thank God, I mean, if you read the reviews from people were like leaving their like demo and giving their instructions, talking about the frother and like how to mix it. So that was really helpful.
Right.
But I wanted, like, before they started leaving the reviews, I was trying to figure out all the indirect ways I could possibly show people that it is different and like what it could look like,
Right.
you know?
Right.
So
Yeah, because that was one thing when I saw you make it at Ryan's house. I was like,
yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, I would have never known to do that, or thought. I've never used a frother myself. Probably,
Yeah.
well, also why I've never heard of PSL, but just saying that if you definitely having a great infographic that can show like you can make this in under 30 seconds or whatever because I would be worried, like I don't want to take 5 minutes to like build some
Yeah.
frappuccino because I don't know how it works.
So do you
So
think I could like I guess annotate or caption the image, like
yep.
let's say this one or the one prior to it where it's blending and like
Mm-hmm.
takes like, transform into a latte in 10 seconds, 10 seconds
Yep.
to the best latte of your life.
Exactly. Whatever that is that you can say, like that would be awesome. I would even add that to the bullet points, to be honest, because that's such a huge selling point for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then one other thing too is, because you're the face of it on your social media, but you're not anywhere here in the images. I didn't see you there. So I would recommend putting an image of you, with the product and put you're the founder and CEO, woman-owned business. You've got all these great things going for you. Even picture your dad, you and your dad, maybe. I made this for my dad. Really, because you only have one shot on Amazon
Right.
typically to kind of get that story across, and that's what
Yeah.
makes you different from every other product on the market.
Right.
So I'm
Yeah.
not gathering all of that great stuff from your social media on the Amazon page, but
Yeah.
you've only been on there for 3 days, so I hope you don't feel we're being harsh with all
No,
the
I mean,
changes.
it's super helpful. It's super helpful. I think for me going into Amazon, I had more of the mindset of, okay, the customer is different. We're on Instagram. Their intent is they are browsing and trying to take the time to read it. And I wasn't sure if Amazon, from what I read, the Amazon person is like, all right, quick, let me just order Prime, like done, like boom, boom, boom. They're not trying to like learn about me and like get to know me here.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if it does help me, I think stand out, going that route feels for sure way more genuine and normal to me than this kind of like scientific, here's the facts, like, it's like it's really hard to like do all that.
Right.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I mean, you'll still get the impulse buyers for sure on Amazon, but at the end of the day, you got people like Jenna that, that will appreciate that story, even though there's like everyone shops on Amazon, right? So
Right.
think of how many people on your Instagram freaked out that you're launching on Amazon. We're like, yes, finally, I'm so happy that I can just buy it there, right? So those people that love you there were on Amazon the whole time, but you weren't there. So now they're super stoked. So those people are there. So I would try to speak to them, because that's what differentiates you from the competition. So and I think you mentioned as well at Ryan's house that you said that you can also use the product to like sprinkle it on desserts, or put it as not just as coffee in your coffee, but it's basically like kind of like a powdered sugar type effect, right? So if you think that maybe we could put that anywhere on the page as well, to let them know like this is not just coffee creamer. You can use this to make your oatmeal better and other make healthy desserts, right? Is that something that's worth mentioning? Or
I mean, so would that part be in like the A+ content area where there's more photos and how to use or whatever, or like how to enjoy?
Wherever you want. It depends how important it is to the product. But if a lot of your customers end up using it or liking that, like it may be worth just mentioning in one of the bullet points or adding in one of the infographics. But certainly in the A+ content would be a great place to start, since it's below the fold. It's a little bit less important of a space, but I think that would be really, really good.
Okay.
And then do you have video on these products?
Like what kind of video? Like a brand kind of about video, or tutorial how to make it kind of video?
Honestly, like anything, because since you are brand registered, you are able to add video to this image block.
Ooh.
I think you should do a brand video personally, just because like what Jeff was saying, like, you are the face of your business.
Yeah.
So to me, a brand video makes a lot of sense. And then you can just apply that to all of your listings that you're going to make in the future.
So I literally just finished filming one set of brand video, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So I can definitely put that on here. But yeah, I didn't know that I could put video in there in the image block.
Yeah, so you can do it in the image block, and then you also can even add, you would actually already see some, I think. Oh, I thought you had yeah, you do, that's weird. So usually it shows up right here, but you actually can add this. So if you have tutorial videos,
just film them.
you can add to this as well.
Cool.
You want to make sure, because I'm assuming like yours would have, for like your social media, it would have your website and things like that. So you want to avoid your website on there when submitting it to Amazon. So just keep that in mind and try to edit that ahead of time.
Cool.
And then Amazon will either approve it or not approve it. And they will tell you why they didn't approve it. And then in addition to that, if you have multiple videos, you also have your Amazon storefront where you can add those videos as well.
Okay. Is my logo should be fine, right?
Your logo should be fine as long as it doesn't have it doesn't have the website, so it should be fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I would recommend in the video to include at least a 5-second segment where it's at least showing the process of how to make it. Because again, like I didn't know how to do that, I've never seen anyone do what you did with the frother and stuff. So just having like a really, short segment, you can still be narrating and telling your story while doing it, but just showing how easy it is, like, boom. You could even you could even have a 5-second segment where you're talking through, like, watch how easy this is, like, with a timer counting down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 or something, making it, making a PSL in 5 seconds or less, But we've had some clients in the past where their products, like it was really hard from the photos to tell how to make it, how easy it was. And once they added that video that demonstrated it, their conversion rates went significantly up and sales went up.
Are you limited to how many videos you put inside of that block?
So this one will be just one.
You want to put one?
But uploading like these related video shorts, you can put more in there. But yeah, we can send you information on how to just upload those videos. Just like lastly, product description, A+ content, like what should be in here. So product description is the third most important place for keywords. So you should still be thinking keywords, but this as well, just things that didn't make it into the bullet points, things that didn't make it into the title, but like, one example I always use, so I'm born and raised Southern California kid. I went to the University of Pittsburgh, and they say book bag there, and we say backpack here. They say pop there, we say soda. So if there's anything like that is involved with your product, I highly recommend you put it in here. So just because you explain it one way, someone else in another area in the United States might say it another. So just making sure that's in there as well. But again, product description, and especially in your A+ content, and I'm sure you're already doing this, but your brand story, like sell it here. Like there's there's so much space here. Sell it here, and then your A+ content. I can't wait to see what that looks like with your images, because you have such pretty images. So involving that, what would be really great for your A+ content is like a recipe. So like if you have specific coffee that goes with making the perfect PSL, like go ahead and put it in there. That would be really great as well. But really it's like A+ content is where you expand, is basically the way we explain it to people is, it's where you have more space to do more things, explaining your product. A+ content, I'm sure you've seen it designing yours, but you are able to put back-end search terms behind each image. So terms that, aren't for the front end can be put there as well. And then same thing also for just your regular back-end search terms. Any terms that you don't want to be in your sales copy for whatever reason will go in the back end. And you want to use all 250 characters for that.
Got it.
But yeah, anything to add, Jeff, on the A+ content product description that maybe I missed?
No, I think you covered it. Were there any other big things that you wanted to cover, Jenna, today? Because I know, because there's a lot of topics, like we could talk about PPC on the next call as well and really dive into that, but that's just like a much deeper topic. We can actually dive into your live Seller Central account and go into that with you, but I think it'd be better to do that like in your account, and that will be, take at least a half hour or so. We can really audit your review strategies and growth strategies that we haven't really gotten into today. So we can see what
Right.
you're currently doing other than just setting up autoresponders, but we can audit
Right.
what you're doing and then give you those modules from our accelerators and the strategies so you can start implementing those. What else should we possibly cover next time? Like, is there anything else that would be helpful for you, Courtney, that, would help you at this point where you're at?
I think the main things right now was just, I wasn't sure if the initial listing, hit what I needed to have a pretty helpful and good quality listing, but sounds like the base is there with all these like minor tweaks and just adding in more strategic content, I guess, to like the image blocks and having the video. I think that will be awesome. I'm really excited to put my brand video on there. And then I think I just need to focus on putting together the A+ content. Now having this understanding that I actually can show my personality and like more of the soul of the company more. I just was like really scared that it needed to be more fast-paced and transactional. People need to hear like boom, 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 bye kind of a thing. So yeah, that's really comforting and good to know and exciting.
Yeah, I mean, you're off to an amazing start for sure. And but yeah, so next time we'll dive into all the stuff I mentioned, and then we should talk about how to leverage your audience off of Amazon to help grow your rankings and what we can do for different ranking strategies. But again, that's another. So it'll probably take a few more calls to like get through all of it, and we want to leave you time so you're not overwhelmed to implement as well. But yeah, just reach out to us if you have any questions that come up along the way, and then we'll point you to the modules. And yeah, I think we've we don't feel like we've given you a ton of homework or lists. Just like we've talked with, I mean, every single coaching client or any client that talks to us, like no matter how big, some of them are doing 8 figures on Amazon, and we can always find more than one glaring thing that like if they just tweak that, it'll boost their conversion rate, or they're missing some strategy. So we've never talked to a company that that was doing everything right. It's impossible. Like that's why it helps to have a different set of eyes on it. And so we'll send you the notes on our call so that it's easy for you to keep track. I know we covered a lot of stuff today, and you don't have to get it all done today. So nice. Well, we love what you're building, Courtney, and I know you're gonna just take it to the moon. So hopefully some of this stuff will help you out. And well, looking forward to our next one.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Awesome. Bye. So nice meeting you.
Bye. See you.
All right. I hope that you enjoyed that episode. That was super fun for Jenna and I to actually get to share what does an inner circle coaching call look like with Courtney Lee and one of our coaching clients. So appreciate her letting us do that. I hope that you guys learned a ton from that. We got to show you sort of an inside look at what does an inner circle coaching call with TurnKey look like. And you can see that we basically only got through, 15% of what we wanted to cover from our initial look at her business. So we're going to have multiple coaching calls with her to really, help get through all the other aspects. We can get to growth strategies, review strategies, marketing inserts, PPC, auditing her PPC campaigns. So, and hopefully Courtney will want to, let us publish those as well so that you can kind of follow her journey as well. So we'll see. Maybe we'll publish a part 2 of this episode. Let us know if you guys like it. And we'd love to hear your feedback, leave comments, or if you're interested in coaching as well, that's what a coaching call looks like. And, make sure to subscribe to our channel at TurnKey Product Management. But yeah, I hope that was helpful for you guys.